Yes, good evening and welcome to, I said good morning, good evening and welcome to today's edition. I show you dedicated solely to celebrate the memory of Ghana's founder, Osagyefo for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. I catch us politics, yeah, among 4 year governance, leadership, everywhere, anywhere. Adia nipa de bekayo, enye sika dodo a wutimi wiaye. Enye sika dodo egu account mu. Enye edan dodo a wosi ye. Ena enye ye fe wabusuafo a wosesa omo kogu ba bia na wi asika de ma omo na mmom aye impact a obetimi make it on the lives of others ordinary kra wuni omo ni any connection na that impact benya long lasting consequences aswerve over generation abo bia nya so mfaso eno na ye leadership, and that is what we have been missing. And very often when the conversation about leadership pops up, everybody makes reference to Dr. Kwame Nkrumah because the legacy the gentleman left it transcended beyond generations. Whenever you listen to people, we say, oh, you know Kwame Nkrumah for fra, we say Kwame Nkrumah, where dear Kwame Nkrumah for fra. No, Kwame Nkrumah's story can never be replicated. Kwame Nkrumah can never be relived. Kwame Nkrumah cannot be replayed. The era of Kwame Nkrumah is lost and gone. The only essence Kwame Nkrumah era isn't to behave like Kwame Nkrumah, isn't to live like Kwame Nkrumah, because the circumstances at the time and the circumstances today are quite different. The essay say we should be inspired by the Kwame Nkrumah at a time. Na emma ya hoden na ye de ye de chen de oye no, because even at the time na Kwame Nkrumah Ghana nya fa ahodie no, make no mistake, mete say na obi say politics aye dirty politics, Ghana politics there enye fe enei atemdi die na say for I am telling you on authority, based on history, based on your friend said test available and nipo more give you testimony. Politics at the time Nkrumah was more dangerous and far more consequential than the yeti who. When was the last time I would say the bomb? I share president be say what be that? But Nkrumah had several, to the extent that these saboteurs went to the extent of what the bomb echo Flagstaff House and Komudi Kwakukuno. Kumbugu okay. Akraketua yede flower mano. That was how dangerous politics at the time na and they are growing a year na make say nkwanjo enti anosini bi yatimisa binom. That was the time na politics we are so dangerous, we mistake soldier for be too. But amidst of all enti sa nneema no so ma Kwame Nkrumah so you very aggressive, because Bakacho say you cannot be walking on a wolf pack and pretending to be a sheep. No. The political circumstances at the time and prevailing demanded himself also by a very aggressive and very hostile to certain individuals. Sabe obetimi keep the equilibrium and the balance. That is why sometimes my culture say being too gentle, that kind of way, doesn't work best in our settings, especially when the people you are dealing with have demonstrated say they are very dangerous people. You need to tell them say you are super dangerous. And that's exactly the playbook of Kwame Nkrumah de na dwuma. Enti ubekaya attempt na no mo ye de akunu ye ne nyina no e na kofa saa ono nso did everything possible to ensure say stop yomo. Some of the things he implemented, some of the policies and ne yanka abeka say tomra na say otiti amanfo fa ahodio, but the circumstances at the time yetimi de bombo sha akra nsem se onkwache president ndo kwa eto a ekuna na nka ekuno anya hwe minim 3 solid account I see ye, but they see o Jubilee House a Flagstaff House then Bobo group I'm told say bomb no blast ye eku nipa bebre innocent your friends saying bystanders. Kwame Nkrumah engu. That was the time now politics was so dirty, politics was so dangerous, politics was so uncomfortable. But amidst of all this uncertainty and danger hovering, Kwame Nkrumah was not taken aback. He did all that he's supposed to do at the time to ensure, say, development ebeba Ghana. And a man and yaw surprise when they tell you, say, Ghana had the first motorway and Sana, even UK thought of having a motorway. But road na Nkrumah built over 60 something years ago, no, still remain the most, the best road in Ghana now. 60 years down the drain, you see any technology, nobody has been able to do anything surpass it, that particular road. And then on the motorways and I baby to know the beauty mean and the tells you the kind of people we are. So I think that this is the person that prevailing amidst of saboteurs, amidst of dangerous people who were finding their personal individual interest. They never from tete no. It was personal agenda for them. Enti eduru baby a fight independence no kwabra ne fa pen ni paper draw letter de koma English broni ka kire ne sadabi independence na Kwame Nkrumah pre ne ho sa oje no monfa ma no because yenye ready, because almost self-government in the shortest possible time. Kwame Nkrumah says self-government now. Because he knew at the time, say, black man capable of managing his own affairs. And independence na boy. And truly, when we secured independence within a period of 10 good years, Kwame Nkrumah was able to inspire 31 African countries to secure independence. So it was no mean an achievement. Ghana became the shining star, a country everybody was looking up to. But these saboteurs never take rest. They pursued Nkrumah with all the evil you can amass in this world, to the point that Kwame Nkrumah's government got deposed. Nkrumah's book written was trashed. And I read one of his books, The Dark Days in Ghana, and that will give you historic account. Kwanya fast wa yetu no, and obakacho was na oko your friend is saying Hanoi, because the Vietnam American War no was at its peak at the time, and the Chinese government at the time no they intervened. Friend say omra na omabwa na sa onko mediate. Because of Ghana's non-alliance posture, Kwame Nkrumah was in a better position now or command global influence. So he was needed at the place to corner on a fan kasa peace by prevailing na America ne Vietnam War na there be a making reference to a best stop it. On his way out to China. And the Chinese ambassador now on any free Ghana koi at the time no catch and say, Mr. President, there is a bad news. But before that, no, Tanasi, na me more money. No, say what has happened, and I'll catch and say, I'm sorry. There has been a coup d'etat back in Ghana. Kwame Nkrumah said, no, it can't be true, because the people of Ghana are very loyal to me, and they ain't to me see. But truly, it had happened. So, I say, plane now or the coin is it Ghana? No, one of a plane now or the coin from Ghana, no. Na or stop here baby and sana or move to another place, another town in China. So not that plane no any close, because in his book no or says and kasa plane no close at the time and can fly directly to Ghana on ko baby but that flight no any available ntino. The oye any so far pen ni paper and I'll throw a message at the command various and I'll relay it to various embassies and say they should take instruction directly from him. Now, I'm forgetting about saboteurs now, more say or more taking over Ghana. No? Now, he Kwame Nkrumah still remains the elected president of the Republic of Ghana. And the MO Bia Akumentu, Ghana for should remain calm. And then the ugly scene started unfolding. On one realized the ministers now on more to kind. Some were traitors and some were saboteurs. And to Bekaya, Toko no asem by and yabo one Kweno Saki bidding. He was part of the delegation of Kwame Nkrumah called China and Hanoi. No. Kwame Nkrumah dealt with him separately. And he had his reason. I also suspected or say Otihona or Jen and say the Obayano. Now ministers now no more no ebiruma toilet bear 7 times. Kwame Nkrumah wrote it in his book. Or say they were showing signs of a female instead of or no so adriana or dream cry what to do no. Sam Krufo no abraba no more than a dintino. Now I disturbed because set up omonya diarrhea by force or we pay free washroom na we yaba we pay free washroom na we yaba. But he, Kwame Nkrumah, was strong because he felt he said the people of Ghana were never going to betray him. But unfortunately, that dark days in Ghana, no, I recommend that I think there is a book, you will understand Kwame Nkrumah, how in his own words, ultimately scripted the event, through his own, from his own perspective, his personal account of event that happened here. And at the people in young years, Kwame Nkrumah remains the most consequential president. I am for say Rollins and this year. No, Kwame Nkrumah is president and this year will be. If you want to understand, pick his books and read the words, the tone, and then the words are all used in the book. Rollins comes no close. Or not a very radical. Kwame Nkrumah was a very radical person, some sort of a revolutionist. Some of the videos are available. The choice of words, so you understand the kind of person I know. So, or no, be no jusa. He wasn't so obi another hojo. No, the near Dian Kasa. Because the political terrain at the time, needed him to be strong, very brutal and very confrontational, and that is what he was. That is why ultimately identifying the political enemies or more prepare evil against him. Ultimately, they be down for instance, or turn it to jail. Ghana high intensity where na John Mahama Chia Kufuor so na to prison say on them copies obe. No, Kwame Nkrumah was that kind of a person. They be down kwa or chi no kotono twene jail. Na man share light ya mani wuye or throw letter brand say Kwame madam for na ya wo me no enti wo de anya hwe books ni keke o man da ho wuye. Because at the time these people made the political atmosphere so ungovernable. Said the Nkrumah said they will make this country ungovernable for John Mahama. Their forefathers started it, and they did it just to ensure that Nkrumah will be brought down. Unfortunately, on that 24th day of February 1966, Kwame Nkrumah was deposed on him. Not only Nkrumah, not two crime. That is why he described these people as cowards. Because people to me, let me be here, come and your friends said depose me. But they waited for him to travel. In his absence, then they took over. So that's a short account of what happened in the Kwame Nkrumah's own account. But maybe the aspect of it I mentioned is, you see, leadership politics isn't about how much money you stole. And here for continue live, they will not die. And when we sikana bono, don't you ever think say you are better than Obi because you have money. And my culture said people with inferior minds, people with so low self-esteem, low self-confidence. And who so be with sika, they mellow. No, if you believe and have confidence in yourself, you know the life. Money is very important. Kakra be away no. That is as long as baby a work with me impacting and making life comfortable for others. You should know say you are valuable, and that is all that leadership should be about. Kwame Nkrumah menenam mehwehwe ne fie ajapade oyeye da bia me ka kira amanfo se okotema tema wasn't meant to be an industrial to be a residential area. The gentleman sat down and decided say let me create tema. So the whole tema concept is Nkrumah's idea. Created it deliberately as an industrial hub. And into all the big factories are who are tamani na or motorway say usiswa winjina baby straight to the industrial city. And then I'm say films those chemical we never bantino net nipa da sani wasn't supposed to live there because a horn of chemicals and then as a form what na you say you get exposed to some of the toxic fumes na air. So it wasn't meant for some kind of a residential way. So all the big factories at the time are no more here. were to be positioned there into Usorasa Ukotama, then you are going to the industrial hub. You find all the factories there. But then Tema is an industrial, is a residential area. And young politicians, buy Ramsay site here that Yanimuhayai. Kohana Kohabia. And I said, John, the year well, a man of us here, a D2 can of honor. It should tell forest in the year well. And now Ramsay site where every single inch of land has been sold because of greed. This land at Daho since Nkrumah time, because he had a vision, and because you see, when I listened to me, then I'm pet TV share or Ghana high am a buffoon. Sometimes you see some of the analysis you hear are trite, very hackneyed, very primitive, and a backslide kind of argument. Always NDC, MPP, when yes, to say. Politics no any forward-looking intuition it's just recrimination, bastardization, and this. But instead of us to look forward beyond politics and see how everything can build your mind, if not for our sake, for the sake of those yet to come. I will not be sitting here talking. But Obianyana doesn't mean we shouldn't do it. Leadership must have impact. And that's exactly what we are missing now. Greed. And in Nkrumah created sad in the year, and making sure or spread the factories across the length and breadth of this country. In the Okon Sawama, there was a shoe factory. And there was a reason for that. And it is our buying Ghana, you see a yeshiwa. And the police and the military. We can have about 60,000 men in uniform. So even so, be a Tony shoe craft from the Nsawam. And as a factory needs supply to your military and your police, fire service, alone, factory ni engu. It's a state contractor or so Obi Kotobi free in China, that is bonus. And that is how you sustain. And the America, among your first military industrial complex, no more cannot yet. Home companies are more so say yes. We have the capacity in the and they have that contract with the American government. You don't even supply to anybody. F-35 and these are local based American company. Military technology in that pass directly to them, and you make sure you are exclusively for the military. You don't even sell to outside. They don't need anybody to come and buy from outside. They will survive. So I just said the Department of Defense and the Pentagon sanctions UK, ally. Or a plane, and there is no way between attending the or the other quantity into Tomano. Oko Urana. Most of the planes use very advanced one, even though American planes, and they've learned their lessons because before the Iranian Revolution, now Iran was a close ally of America. Most of the military they were selling until the revolution. It ended when that revolution happened in Iran. And then a new government took over and they cut ties with America. So planes in those we no more right for air corner. Still, some of them were in use. Plus those they bought from China and other way. That is how these things work. Sorry for the long explanation. But the fact of the matter is that sa factory never honor. Because my culture says you see 24-hour economy, whatever. If we don't back it with solid industrialization, we are joking. Because that industrial win, around the clock factory, open when you run a night shift, you produce shoes overnight. Then we are a ton a month for a ton. And the government to me the policies and taxes and as a form. Most of Ghanaians will be wearing, and we also other agencies will also be promoting made in Ghana. Ghana tourism way, among for Baha. These are some of the things. So shoe alone can create. Oko wenchia, or see your friends a tomato factory, and a survive a year bigger to the stand say, or mutimi for me football club. Near here from is it Tomac? Yes, our wenchi. So state-owned tomato factory, no. Atimiati team and no Ghana Premier League, Tomacan, or something. I have the name. Power FC Ubakaya, na electricity company of Ghana. The team and Power FC. This is how resourceful some of these companies became. And then they stop here and say, as Nkrumah one didn't eat tomato, Nkrumah say. So what is stopping us? So these should be the targeted focus of this 24-hour economy. Because I had the producer, there be a sanitary pad. We should never import a single sanitary pad from outside. What is stopping us from producing? Because all the ingredients, we can start, even if not for profit. Government can partner with your friend saying private entities, private firms. We can woo investors to come in because we sanitary pad will Nkrumah as a cut importer automatically or buy beer use sanitary pad Nkrumah. Idea tomboka. And this is a 24-hour economy. Now a revolve around this production on daily basis will be at. But we seem to have a very different mindset altogether. Metisa man for say ana ye be fa nipom be ya teacher for be kira de ana dwo way e bi you see those things I catch say those things don't grow economy. Teacher ni o kira de no omo services in third party services. They train minds, workforce no say be ombeti be ya adwuma. That's all that they do. Teachers don't grow economy directly, but they teach people, impact knowledge, and they will come. What are they supposed to do? To work. Nurses are supposed to provide health care for the workforce. What are they supposed to do? The work. Police and military security for the workforce. So the workforce now can say turn the economy around now. Teachers are not part. Your friends say police are not part. Military are not part. Now those who will be working in our factories, in our farms, tilling the land, making sure that production goes up. And on a year, and for instance, dollar can one say men mitigate. Yes, it's good. Ubaka catch say until say you bet me a share say you produce near my Nkrumah, the dollar nobody can stop it. The best we can do is to push more dollars into the system and mop up the city. And the Bank of Ghana, I increase in the policy rate. What it means that the rate at which commercial banks borrow from Bank of Ghana a cost. So a better disincentive for from commercial bank to borrow more. A basa or monsono. The rate at which I also lend it to a man for no, and also a cost. So it becomes disincentive for people to go and borrow. So a man for stop it borrowing. Then Sikana nam system no more no so better. And when there is a shortage in the city, it becomes very strong. So that is the long tail of some of these things. But I may say these are physical, these are monetary policies. Our Bank of Ghana, just to control. But the question is to what extent? Are they sustainable? Are they sustainable? The most sustainable policy approach we need to is to ensure that this 24-hour economy President Mahama has proposed will cover and go deeper into industrial production. I don't know. Sikana yaswa kwa bontinu nyina no. Enko gidigidi sa. Na ye make sure say we look at our laws. And the companies no mba ha mba san be ye adwumanya profit no, and the multi-choice has been sold. Yes, way for Canal Plus Ato. They've taken over, So and the DSTV in as for and South African company be multi-choice affair. This is way of breaking news and make culture when there. I'm not back and forth. I course Ghana had in here because multi-choice, the parent company in South Africa, no Canal Plus I take over. And multi-choice and way for the ABM. Canal Plus for Ajay. Good. So the thing is that Those foreign companies like MTN, Vodafone, Bayer, Duma, Giddy, Omunya Sikana, and Shishaya Ben, a year dear Guaka Jack. Your crew number year, Jumano, Ghana, and your luncheon pad that be make you Sikana the cop. And to make sure, say, 15 and 20% of your profit, will stay in Ghana for 1 year. And sana wait media PA. Most of the countries out there, won't mean Juma Giddy, America announce they won't allow you. This money must stay in the economy, should be in circulation. So your minus be some for so kakra and sana was buy a high or buy or more buy a more tax relief. Now a bad business, no sanya ni sikana or swanning in the court. How can your money be stable? Because sikana or they can or see the no the court to go cry and touch it. So they will make sure they change the money in dollars and they repatriate everything, leaving us dry. And the finance minister could in parliament but GDP kafu because or share human development index now check kujina now was value in life wa ebia one city kura in life nduru. It tells you how pathetic we are as people are. I think say me say you won't mean Kwame Nkrumah yentimi relieve Kwame Nkrumah era. But we can be inspired by this difficult terrain. They're not air cost, they're Kwame Nkrumah to me, yeah. Na yenso, yamfa inspire, na yenye dear. It's all that. Kwame Nkrumah conversation, I just don't want it to be long. I just want it to be short. I'll be back here once again to throw more light into it. Thank you very much. And me say, this is an intellectual community. We are growing. We are now around 32,000, 33,000. Be part of us and let's grow together. Oko Facebook, Aka drew 82,000. Join us. Now you grow together. Thank you very much. My name is Ivan Che Innocent, and this is what we do. Thank you.